Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we have some great news if you are not an, let's say, overly enthusiastic player when it comes to submarines. We're getting some big buffs to ASW and some further changes to submarines in general. And we're also getting a new Dutch heavy cruiser that's showing us just how far wargaming is ready to go when it comes to weird combination of ship hulls and guns. And also there's some changes coming to camouflages yet again. So all that is in today's video. Check out the timeline down below if you just want to see a certain thing. I do have the chapter set up, so if you just want to see the ASW changes, you can pop there. You just want to check out this new Dutch cruiser, pop there. You just want to see what's happening with camouflages, you can pop on over there. So there you go. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Links to these will be in the description down below. I'll probably also put a comment up and pin them there for your convenience if you want to read along as I read aloud. Going in order of release. So, new ships closed testing 13.1. Captains, we're now ready to share details about new ships being added for testing in update 13.1. Read on to take a first look at their gameplay features and history. First up is the Dutch cruiser Prins Van Oranje Tier 10. A variant of an unbuilt Dutch Navy super heavy cruiser designed 1047, featuring a different armament configuration. The ship inherited her name, a traditional one for the Royal Netherlands Navy, from mine layer Prins Van Oranje, a vessel that vanished in the Pacific War's grip during the spring of 1942, along with her sister ship Golden Lou. Fans of Golden Lou will certainly recognize this ship. Similar to her sisters, she's quite well armored, boasts a nasty AA suite, has access to a high damage HE bomb airstrike, and features excellent concealment. However, she differs in some key aspects. Her main armament consists of 12 234mm guns and 3 quadruple turrets, making her more of a traditional heavy cruiser. While she does have access to the signature Dutch airstrike, hers will have a longer range and deal more damage. To balance things out, it will feature longer cooldown and arrival times, thus shifting her focus more towards her main battery. Technically, wargame, that should be reload time because the airstrikes are not a consumable, they are an armament. But who am I to correct wargaming? Her consumables are represented by the Hydroacoustic Search and DFA consumables in different slots. Prins Van Oranje will play most effectively in open waters using her excellent concealment, heavy broadside, and good ballistics to engage and destroy the enemy. She can effectively support friendly destroyers from behind with her guns, and while her airstrikes may be difficult to lead, it can be quite effective at digging out stationary enemy positions. However, captains will want to be cautious of enemy torpedoes due to her poor maneuverability, and extended fights with enemy battleships may not go her way. You can certainly see that with the Golden Lou. Now, just real quickly here, they do talk a little bit more about the Delhi and the Uganda, which are the Tier 5 and the Tier 7 tech line Commonwealth cruisers. We won't be taking a look at that because we've talked about the Commonwealth line already, but if you want to check out the details, check out the link to this first article. So, really quickly going through the Van Orange's stats. She has 51,900 hit points, 25 millimeters of armor plating, and 30-second fires. And her main guns, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. Those are Gibraltar's 234mm guns. They have a firing range of 18.1 kilometers, and they have a 21% fire chance, 3,350 HE alpha. They come out the tubes at 841 meters a second for HE shells. AP shells do a maximum damage of 5,750 and also come out the tubes at 841 meters a second. They have a 14-second reload time, though, and a sigma of 2.05 with a maximum dispersion of 158 meters. That's not too bad. On paper, that sounds fairly decent, maybe even good. But that 2.05 sigma, that's on the lower side for cruisers, right? In my battleship monkey brain, I see 2.05 sigma and I go, ooh, that's nice, right? But yeah, it looks decent so far. So the HE Airstrike, it has a 160-second reload time. Good lordy. And they have 2 available, so just like the Golden Lou. 12 aircraft in the flight, a 15-kilometer range, dang. And you get 7 bombs per plane, so 7 times 12 is 144 bombs, I think. Please, no, wait, Maybe. I might be an idiot. Hold up. Math. Is it 84 bombs? 84 bombs, I believe. Someone shout at me in the comments if I'm wrong. There's a very good reason that I'm not a math teacher. I can't do math on the spot right now. It's 84 bombs. Yeah. Math is hard. So 84 bombs, their maximum damage is 8,500, and they can pin 46 millimeters of armor, and then they have an 84% fire chance. So yeah, those are some most potent bombs. It is 84. I just checked on my calculator. Haha. I got it right the second time. That's the one that counts, right? So yeah, 84 bombs with a 48% fire chance. That's if you hit those, most of those, that's going to start a fire. And yeah. So I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. All right. Yep, she gets repair party, DFAA, hydro, 100 seconds, 5 kilometer hydro. Her repair party, 28 seconds, and 259 HP per second is the regeneration rate. All right, so the Van Oranje at first looks like a bit of a kit bashed Golden Lou, but apparently, they did have some design with 234 millimeter guns, but they had triple turrets instead of quadruple turrets. I don't know. Wargaming's on a quadruple turret kick right now. I don't know if they need to get help or something, but it's what they're doing right now. But yeah, all right. So the Van Oranje, I am excited for it. I do very much like the Golden Lou, and an open water gunboaty Golden Lou does sound perhaps interesting. But we'll see. But I am interested. You have piqued my interest yet again, Ouija. Alright, going on now to the second dev blog. I believe this one came out today-ish, perhaps? But yeah, I record these a day in advance, y'all, so don't think that I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and crank these out. No, these are made the day before. But anyway, changes to submarines and ASW exterior system update, Airship Escort, and more. Update 13.1 is rapidly approaching. We are ready to share information about the upcoming features. Right off the bat, changes to submarines and ASW. Pull up a chair. We're going to be here for a minute. Get some snacks too while you're at it. Give me a snack too while you're at it. We're excited to unveil some additional details about our previously announced changes to submarines and ASW. With these changes, we are aiming to create more consistent interactions between submarines and surface ships, while still maintaining the current level of combat effectiveness of submarines. First, we are making a few changes to surface ship ASW, which are outlined below. So the Venezia, Hindenburg, Prince Eugen, Admiral Schroeder, they are getting their depth charge airstrikes instead of the deck-mounted depth charges. Tier 5 to 8 battleships are receiving an increase in the range of their depth charge airstrike. And let's see, both Tier 5 through Tier 8 battleships and cruisers, will have their depth charge airstrike cooldown reduced. To balance this, the bomb damage will also be slightly reduced for these ships. This means that you will be able to use depth charge airstrike more often, but with a lower damage output per use. Ships that currently have special ASW settings will not be receiving any changes unless specifically noted. Okay, so the trade-off for more range and more depth charges overall, I do believe that is a fair trade-off for slightly less damage. If you are wondering how much less damage, there's a nice little table here. I've taken a screenshot of it. We'll throw it up on the screen right now if you do want to take a look at it. So, but if you want to get a real quick idea, Tier 8 battleships, 10 kilometer ASW range now. Tier 7, Tier 9. I'm sorry, Tier 7 is 9 kilometers. Tier 6 is 8 kilometers, so is Tier 5, all right? And then the damage for Tier 5 to 6 is 2,900. Tier 8 is 4,200, and you do get 2 charges from Tier 8 on up with 2 bombs per drop. Again, if you want to get a more in-depth idea, refer to the screenshot on screen or go check out the article. Alright, okay. So, something that they've noted here is that Ohio Thunderer Jean Bar and Jean Bar B will get standardized airstrikes now. If you don't know, Ohio Thunderer Jean Bar and Jean Bar B, for whatever reason, Wargaming decided that they were going to gimp their ASW at 5 kilometers. which 5 kilometers when dealing with submarines, that's pretty much suicide range, right? Like, no one's going to try and close the 5 kilometers of a sub because that's typically when they, well, shotgun you, right? And that was a big complaint that I have with some of these ships, that yes, they are powerful ships, but most of their usefulness, most of their OPness, like the Thunderer, ship that I've cried about many a time before, it's amazing dealing with surface ships. But dealing with submarines, it's like, yeah, it's got 457s, but like, unless submarine captain's either out of battery or just being dumb, they aren't going to let you use that on them, right? Like, they're going to dive, and you're not going to be able to use it on them, right? So all of their traits that make them great surface ships don't really apply to submarines. So why do they have mega gimped ASW? I don't know. The Georgia and the Massachusetts still have lesser ASW ranges. They don't note them here if they are going to get a buff. Oh, they are a little bit. So the Massachusetts is 7 kilometers. The Musashi is 7 kilometers too, rather than 5 kilometers. Okay, so that's a little bit better. It's still way under for their course, because for their course, way under for their class and for their tier. Because Massachusetts at tier 8, that should be a 10 kilometer ASW, and Musashi at tier 9 should be an 11 kilometer ASW. But hey, I'll take it. It's some type of buff to these ships that most definitely needed it when it came to that. Alright, other changes. So submarine surveillance was something that they mentioned earlier in a previous post, that they were going to start tweaking it, and here's what they are doing with that. They say, next we have some additional information about changes to the hydrophone consumable available in submarines. The consumable will have the following characteristics. The consumable will allow submarines to immediately spot ships in range, regardless of terrain, similar to hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar. That is something that was brought up beforehand about submarines in some way, shape, or form, how they could, because someone thought that the submarines surveillance, whatever we call the hydrophone consumable, could spot ships through islands. It can't, but then it's like, well, hydro and radar can somehow, even though that's physically not how those things work, but they could have, but now they can. So it's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. It's warships. Who cares about physics, right? But anyway, so now they can immediately spot ships regardless of the terrain. The consumable can be activated in any state on the surface at periscope depth or operational depth, but will only detect ships at periscope depth or on the surface. Okay, so now they have to be at periscope depth or on the surface. The wording for that's a little confusing, but okay, let's keep going on. We'll come back to that. Maybe they'll explain it here in a second. When submarines use hydrophone to detect ships above them and in line of sight, static silhouettes of these ships will appear for a short period, about 6 seconds, and then disappear. Ships behind terrain will be displayed as a short flash without a silhouette. Okay, I think that means it's only going to detect ships that are at periscope depth or on the surface. So they mean like other submarines, you're only going to detect them if they're at periscope depth or if they are on the surface. So it should still spot surface ships regardless of your ship's depth, because they have a little GIF right here of it in action, and this submarine is at operational depth and not periscope depth. So I'm going to assume that's what that means for now. And yeah, that's what it going to look like now. Short burst, and the ship being detected is going to disappear, and then if you're detecting a ship through an island, you get a little blip on your screen, and that's it. Alright, furthermore, we're adding a collision warning message for submarines that are underwater, and there is another underwater submarine within 2 kilometers. This message will appear even if the enemy submarine isn't spotted, and will disappear as soon as it leaves a 2 kilometer radius in any direction, including resurfacing. It's important to note that if there happens to be several submarines in the vicinity, the message won't be any different. I mean, hey, I say let the little things just detect each other, because it's assured detection. You know, you're supposed to assuredly detect them. If they wander into each other, I mean, yeah. I think that's just a silly way to fix something that really shouldn't be a problem. It was hilarious beforehand in all the submarine testing when you would spot another submarine 2 kilometers from you, and you're just like nose to nose, and you both just scramble to, either dive or surface and maneuver out of each other's way. That was fun. I like that goofiness, but I guess you get spotted by both teams, and then you just get blasted back into the ether. Anyway, Finally, to balance out the changes to ASW, we will improve the turning circle radius of all submarines so that they have the opportunity to better maneuver and reposition. On average, their turning circles will become about 20% better. As a result of the submarine changes, we are also adding the following effects to 2 signals. Sierra Bravo, submarine surveillance reload time, minus 10%, hydrophone reload time, minus 10%. And then X-ray Papa 101, dive capacity plus 5%. So submarine changes, again, I am glad that they are, taking steps to deal with a lot of the frustration. The ASW changes are much needed, and I am very happy that they are going through. It is so frustrating when you have a submarine that you just can't do anything with with the ASW. And keep in mind too, like a lot of these submarines, their torpedoes are still in excess of like 2 or 3 kilometers of this ASW range. Like you were within their range, but you can't do anything to them. So if there's at operational depth, you can see their ping, but you can't do anything to them. Yet their torpedoes can still reach out and hit you. Granted, if you have like a 13-kilometer warning that you've been pinged and there's torpedoes on your way, you should be able to do something at that distance. But still, just like from a gameplay perspective, that's isn't right in my mind. So yes, I do like these changes thus far. Again, a lot of these are in testing right now. They could change, but it's a good step forward in my opinion, and I hope that a lot of these come through as is. But again, we will see what happens there. Besides the submarine warning, just let them spot each other, in my opinion. Alright, so changes to the camouflage system. They say, starting with update 13.1, the majority of expendable camouflages available in the game will get their permanent versions that you can either purchase or attain through various activities, missions, and events. New perma camos will operate similarly to already existing permanent camouflages, such as New Year, Epoch, or Still camos. However, they won't be locked to a specific ship tier. You can link permanent camouflages for free to ships as long as you have enough copies. Unlinked perma camos are stored in your inventory. You can also see the number of copies you have in the exterior tab. Once you link a perma camo to a ship, it will remain linked to that ship and cannot be unlinked. It's also important to note that once you link the perma camo, you will no longer be able to use the expendable version of that same camo on that ship. Another important thing is that you can't sell these camouflages. Ooh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yep. Okay, so I'm assuming they mean you can't sell the permanent version of this camo, which means that they are probably going to start phasing out these consumable camos. So, yep, who could have guessed it when they made these consumable camos, or these, am I even saying that right? Expendable camos, there we go. Who could have guessed when they made these expendable camos worth nothing to the player without the economic bonus or the concealment bonus or the dispersion bonus, that players would just sell these things in mass and just sit upon a pile of credits. Yep. It would not surprise me if within like a year or two we start seeing expendable camos start to become a thing of the past. So they go on to say, for standard single-colored abstract and thematic camos, once you obtain an expendable or perma camo of this type on your account, you'll unlock the ability to purchase this permanent version on all of your ships. You can purchase permanent standard, single-colored, abstract, and thematic camos for credits or doubloons when purchasing a permanent camo in the exterior tab. It will be automatically linked to that ship. You can find the exact prices in the table down below. And yep, here is a screenshot of this table. So, granted, they're not very expensive. For a standard camo, I'm going to assume that means like the more historical looking camos. 22,500 credits for one expendable camo, or 6 million credits, or 750 dubs for a perma camo. Which again, once you apply it to your ship, that's it. It's there for forever. Single colored, 45,000 credits, or 7 million credits, or 750 dubs. Abstract, 75,000 credits, 8 million credits, or 750 dubs. Thematic camo, 90,000 credits for the expendable version, 9 million credits or 750 dubs. So there you go. Now, I know I said that they don't sound that bad. I mean, like 6 million credits, it's not really hard to grind if you know what you're doing. Again, I have guides up for that. Yeah, it's going to take a minute, right? But it's not terrible. But again, it's a camo. It doesn't really do anything, right? So you don't need it. You can't purchase expendable or permanent versions of trophy and special camouflages. For example, camouflage for participating in ranked battles or camouflages made in collaborations. The introduction of these permanent camouflages brings some other changes. Daily rewards at the barge will change. Now there will no longer be an option to choose the more camo container as a reward. In Update 13.1, we will replace expendable camouflages for their permanent counterparts in collections, campaigns, account leveling rewards, as well as in clan battles missions. In the future, we plan to substitute expendable camouflages for their permanent versions for some activities, for example, in the following ranked season. So there you go. It's like on one hand, I have so many of these camos that I'm pretty sure I could slap, what is it, like the, I think it's the black, white, red camo. I've got like 12,000 of those. So like, I'm probably not going to run out of them, right? But yeah, I mean, I guess it's nice if you really like expendable camo, you can buy a permanent version of it. But yep, again, will not surprise me. I mean, they're already saying, yeah, they're removing the more camos box, and then they are substituting it for the upcoming ranked season. You know, you're not going to get the expendable camos. You're going to get the permanent camos already. So there you go. But yep, what a surprise! What a freaking surprise! Now, of course, they're not going to go and remove the camos you have in your account already, but they're going to obviously encourage you to, get the perma camo version. But, yep, what a surprise. All right, Airship Escort is coming back, believe it or not. But it is going to be a standalone temporary battle type. Huzzah! In this mode, players will be tasked with leading their allied airship to its destination before the enemy team does. Players can also achieve victory by destroying the enemy's ships. This iteration will use the same rule set that was used before Airship Escort was added into random battles. Players will be able to utilize tier 8 to 10 ships of any type. Well, I still believe Airship Escort was fine in random battles. You can, argue with me all you want. That's what I believe, but I am glad that it is returning in a temporary battle type. And if Wargaming keeps going, they'll have a pretty nice set of popular temporary game modes to keep cycling through, like with asymmetric battles right now, then Airship Escort, and then they'll probably come up with a third mode, maybe convoys, and they can keep cycling those out. And there you go. You have a nice either mode of the week or mode of the update, if you will, that you can just keep flipping those in and out as the updates go on. This video is getting a little long, so I'm going to cut it off here. There is a Java C event coming up if you want to check out some of the previews of the items you will be able to obtain for that. There's a new perma camo coming out for Enterprise, the Big E camo, a Pacific Ghost. So many ships are called Grey Ghost back in the day, but yeah, that looks kind of nice for Enterprise right there, and some other Enterprise themed badges and stuff. But yep, come on down and check those out if you are interested in that. But yeah, this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So guys, let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comments down below. If you are excited for them, or if you're kind of let down by them, just let me know that in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. We'll be live streaming right here on the channel this evening around 4-ish, 5-ish Central Time, so make sure to come out for that. Again, hope you guys have a wonderful Friday, wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.